Oh, I don't know. That was close. I don't know. Photo finish, man.
I'll let you have that, John.
Hello.
I keep pressing the wrong button. That was completely lost there. I was just fumbling. Hello, everybody. Hello, good evening, and welcome to show number 140 of the Ideal Home Show. It is slightly different this week. Not mega different, but slightly different. New kind of format that we're going to try out, and hopefully will be absolutely splendid. But we've still got the same old usual bollocks. We have got I've got news from around the world of vaping. We have got information on Squonking. We have got that normal hand checky stuff, what we've been vaping on, what we've received in the post, what we are looking to receive in the post. We've got all of that kind of good stuff, but just a little bit slicker, perhaps. A little bit better. I should have really started with hello, good evening, and welcome. I should have been a little bit more professional. Next week. You could
have done 2 Roddies with your glasses. You could have gone, oh.
No, I'm aiming for professional, not comedy. Not comedy this week. No comedy. No funny things this week. That's not true. Okay, so yeah, that's 2 minutes. Spot on. We're running to schedule already. Excellent. Okay, so John.
Yes.
I'm going to have to fly straight over you. You're on my screen. Can I ask you a series of questions that are predetermined? How's your week been? What are you vaping on? What are you drinking on? And if you could be on a television show, any television show, past, present, or future, what television show would you like to have been on or to be on?
Okay.
Over to you, John.
Okay, week's been good. Sort of run up to Vape Fest, so it's kind of stock at the moment. At Jan headquarters. Did you ask what I had for a meal or not? I can't remember.
I didn't.
Oh, okay. Fuck you. What am I vaping on?
We haven't got time for that. We haven't got time.
That's all right.
We could have a quick guess.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I had a half a donut and a lick of a mint Viscount.
Just a slither of orange peel.
Yeah, that was it. How do you know these things? What am I vaping on today? I am vaping on. I'm going to check this. Yes, honey and cinnamon Danish. That's what that is. Honey and cinnamon Danish in the Dead Rabbit on top of the Dacus Abstract Mods ClickFet. SwitchFet. It's not a ClickFet yet. Wink. Next up, I've got a Silver Saver on top of an RX-75. Inside that RX-75, what I've got is some of Brinlar's Mang Dem, is what that is. But I've got this on the full open lung hit kind of thing. I've left that steep since I went to go and see Rick some time ago, and it's a lot better than it was, and I think it's very nice indeed. Mango with a bit of coolada. This is very good. Next up, I have got another Saber, a black one, but it's on mouth to lung, and another Abstract Mod. Not only that, it's a flask. So I've had for ages. You know what? I thought I was going to get this back out again, because although the Pico thingamabob's all right, this is going to come my daily carry again, because 2 batteries is just better than 1. And in that is Cactus Punch 45 milligram. Right now, I'm drinking an IPA from Gypsy Hill, which is called El Caf Single Hop Citra IPA. I'm not drinking it out of the can. That's why I nearly dropped it. I'm drinking it out of
That's a big can. That's not a normal craft beer can.
No, they do them like that. Gypsy Hill do a proper fucking can. Yeah, but it's got a little. It's all silver sticky label and all of that. That's that. Oh, if I could be on any TV program, that is the easiest question anyone could have asked me. I would definitely have been on The Office. Oh, it's my favourite. The British Office. It's my favourite show ever. I adored the British Office.
Cool.
Okay, Richard, how's your week been? What are you vaping on? What are you drinking on? Yeah, how's your week been? What are you vaping on? What are you drinking on? And yeah, same question to you. You know, if you could be on any television program ever, which television program would it be?
Okay. I've had a wonderful week. Not like other weeks. Different. I'm drinking a gin and tonic. Just,
Oh, nice.
just
I didn't
because.
see that.
Just
Yeah,
because.
I thought it was quite apt that you posted it on your own profile by mistake first.
Yes, I did do that. I've done that. That's not the first. It won't be the last. I did correct myself, put it on the Ideal Home Show. Sorry to the people whose comments were deleted in that process. Yes, it's gin and tonic. Wonderful week, one of the best. And I'm vaping on. I'm vaping on this. This is called the Bastion. The Bastion. It's a Squonker by Dovpo that they very kindly sent to me. And on top of that, I've got the Thesis RDA from Hugs Vape, and this is next on the old chopping block, as they say.
I think the tip and mod combo is pretty sweet.
Yes, yeah. It doesn't take. Where are we? It doesn't take goon tips brilliantly.
Oh, but it does match.
But it's it's match your life. I've got one of these in here. One of these on point juicers. Which one is it? It's the one that tastes exactly like coil glaze. The yellow coil glaze. It's like that, but better.
I don't know what you could possibly be talking about.
If you like that honey coil glaze, have a look at those on point liquids from Just Dead Nick. They're lovely. Bastion Thesis, that's next to D-Pro on the Pico Squeeze 2. It's going all regular. It's Squonky. Apart from this, this is the Delrin Phobic with the Legend RDTA from ePhoenix. This is their Squonky RDTA, but it does convert into a dripper as well. I just haven't got that far along. So that's all lovely. A TV show. Oh God.
You can be in the office with me.
Yeah. I've no clue. I've no clue. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Could get £1 million. Yeah.
Clever. If you've got to be clever to get that, though, haven't you?
No, just
lucky. Just lucky. I think you just got to know the answers, haven't you?
Yeah.
Which you can't achieve by swatting up, can you? Because you could, it could be a question about Emmerdale or something. So yeah, that's I'd go on there and I'd roll the dice. I reckon I could.
32 grand. You're right.
I reckon I'd chance it on the 32 grand question, get it wrong, but keep the 32 grand.
32.
Oh, I don't know if the prices have changed. Anyway,
is Clarkson doing it now? Is that a thing?
You haven't seen one with him yet.
I've not seen that.
I mean, Tarrant was an equally questionable choice, wasn't he? So, Rick, how's your week been? What are you drinking? What are you vaping? And what TV show would you be in?
Our week's been good. Mod Maker is always good. It's always good at Mod Maker. I enjoy my work. A few new bits coming in, a few new things, waiting for a few things, all the usual stuff. But yeah, all good and positive. What am I vaping on? I am vaping also on a Bastion from Dovpo and the Vaping Biker with a goon on top. And enjoying that very much. In that, I've got Voodoo Brew. Next, I'm vaping on my Abstract Mod Mike Dacus with a Derringer on top. And in that, I've got a 6 milligram blackcurrant mix that I like. That's got a click fit. No, it's got a light. It's got a light. Yeah, click fit in that one. And finally, I've got the Drop Dead. Thank you, Richard, for sending that.
That's all right.
On a Kennedy. Oh, what is it? What one is it? Roundhouse? Roundhouse. Kennedy Roundhouse.
Yeah.
Giving that a go this week. This Drop Dead. Talk about it in the news. It's I'm enjoying it very much. In that, I'm vaping on Cassandra Casadega. Yeah, so we're going a bit more professional. It's Casadega, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Can only be reserved from justadnick.co.uk.
Oh, can I just say, while we're on it, the Drop Dead has already been cloned. So do be careful to buy it from a place that doesn't sell clones.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm liking that. I'll run through that quickly in the news. It's good. It's good though. What am I drinking? I'm drinking some Bitter Iron IPA from a very exclusive shop.
Liddell's.
Yeah, I went to Liddell's to buy some. I wanted some German sausage. I like a bit of German sausage, and they had these for quid a go for a can of this IPA, and it's blooming nice, light and golden in colour, with a citrus aroma and a bitter finish. Really nice. Enjoying that very much. So if you could go in Lidl and see that for £1, pick up a 4-pack because it's really nice. If I could be in a TV show, I just thought of one straight away. After the first thing that popped into my head was Supermarket Sweep.
Oh, no Dale anymore.
I always loved the idea of being able to run around the supermarket, and they were like picking up. I watched them scooping inexpensive things into their trolley, and it's like, no, you're doing it all wrong. Go straight to the champagne and to the whiskey and all the expensive stuff. And yeah, I'd quite like to go on Supermarket Sweep.
Surely on, that's the alcohol aisle has got to be the correct aisle.
But there was actually specific rules. They're only allowed to pick up a certain amount of alcohol.
Oh, right.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
Isn't it? Oh, I'll change my mind then.
It was like one of those rules that everybody always went, I'll just go straight in there, yeah? Get a load of fucking gin, chuck it in. You're only allowed to.
Right, then it'd be something like Crystal Maze or something like that.
Oh, a bit of Crystal Maze.
Yeah, bread.
The original Crystal Maze. You know, I'm talking 30 years ago, 40 years ago even.
No, it wasn't 40.
It was
30.
when I was a little un.
No,
when I was a youngster.
Youngster, maybe, but not little.
30 years ago. 30
years ago, yeah.
50 years ago. 50 higher than 40. No, that wasn't.
I'll go 35 years, I reckon. Someone in chat tell us if you want
to. It's definitely not. It's about, I know.
It's
the original one with the bush that talked.
About 1988, 1989.
I reckon I'd have been quite good on Call My Bluff.
I think you could be good
Sandy
at that.
Toxic.
You're a deadpan, aren't you?
Yeah.
Right. Next.
James, answer your own question, young man.
Okay.
I'll
answer all.
On top of the question, I'd like to know how your week's been, what you've been vaping, and what are you vaping, and what are you having a drink on this evening?
Lovely. Thanks very much. Week has been ups and downs. It's been a bit of a funny week, but I'm not going to complain. We have got a new thing though. We got Alexa this week. That's been really cool. Got a Amazon Dot thing. So Alexa, do stuff, which has been nice. I really enjoyed that.
Did you get it on Prime? Did you get it on the Prime week? The thing?
Reduced on the Prime Day, which is like 36 hours long because Prime is like, it's bigger and better than just a day. It's I don't know. Yep. So got it on there. And Amazon Prime Music though, it's a bit sly, isn't it? You go, Prime, you got Amazon Prime Music in there. And you go, 2 million tracks, that must be all the music in the world. But then you realise that that's nowhere near all the music in the world. 2 million, it seems like a lot, but it's not a lot at all. My favourite bit about that, though, has been James Jr. going, Alexa, play a Ghostbusters theme. Just since it arrived, so we've had Ghostbusters theme on constantly.
So you've had like Ray Parker Jr. just constantly.
And there she is. She's do not play Ghostbusters theme, thank you. So yeah, that's been good. I've been watching something good on the telly. I've been watching Jean-Claude Van Johnson on Prime. That's been really good. I don't know if you've seen that. That is Jean-Claude Van Damme being a secret agent thing. It's absolutely mental. That's been good. I am vaping on just usual stuff. Infinity Mod 356 with a Viper V2 and a whistle on top, and in there is Tobacco Crunch and the Shadow with the Viper X and a whistle on top. And in there is Custard Cream from Spectrum Vaping. And I am drinking on a Rick and Morty backer in this delightful glass with a thumb rest. And if I could be on any television show, I would have liked to have been on Stars in Your Eyes with Matthew Kelly. I always loved it. I had a plan. When I was a youngster. I was going to do enough impersonations to do an entire series, so I'll be guaranteed a winning. That was my plan. And if we had more time, I would regale you all with many, many impersonations of many, many stars.
We do have a chat request, James.
Yeah, well, we'll do that another week, maybe. It's another week when I'm slightly more prepared. Okay.
If you just do 2 seconds. Alexa, play Ghostbusters theme.
No, you're not allowed enough.
They want me to do it.
Oh.
But it's good, isn't it? It's good. I like it a lot. Okay, so that is a minute
over.
ahead of schedule. We are Brad short, but a minute ahead of schedule. That's good. We're not doing too bad. Okay, so over to the news, John. What fascinating, interesting, and vape-related news have you got for us this week?
First things first, I was actually going to use a graphic, but I decided not to because it's a piss poor reference actually. But the website that I originally got the screenshot from. But there's something quite interesting this week, which is that big tobacco. Very loosely, I will say this. Big tobacco is looking at 20% losses since the beginning of January 2018, and that is across the board. So we're talking about Imperial, British American Tobacco, and Philip Morris losing 20%. I personally feel that 20% is a vast over-exaggeration, but they are bleeding, which is where we want them to be. In the recent weeks, I think we briefly spoke about this last week, but I personally feel that the big tobacco are getting desperate when it comes to vaping, because they're 2 years behind currently. The blue is the Von Earl, and the Von Earl is 2 years old. And I think we're looking at a buyout. I wouldn't be surprised to hear news of a buyout of Joule. I know it's not for sale before anybody says it. I know they've claimed many, many times they're not for sale, but as its current market value seems to be $15 billion. How do you feel about this? Because
I think British American Tobacco are going to buy it if they can.
Well, let me just. I was just going to qualify this just a tiny bit. They're starting to. They've already affected legislation in the US, and I'm pretty certain they're starting to affect legislation in the UK. There's been lobbying from people who call themselves like vaping. I'm going to call them a vaping support group with an influence on the government, and they are. That was really quick. Yeah, sorry, what was I going to say? It's very obvious.
Should we say hi to Brad?
Yeah, we'll say hi to Brad, and then I'll carry on quickly. Sorry, I got lost in my own bullshit.
You have to unmute yourself now, Brad.
Hello.
Hello, you all right?
Yeah, all good.
Why are you late? Explain yourself.
Baby daddy duties.
Maybe daddy duties always
Baby
wins.
daddy.
Brad, do you want to do your? We're going to do your questions as quick as possible. You got to run through them as fast as
Yes,
possible.
I'm drinking. Yes, I'm vaping.
What are you drinking? What are you vaping? And if there was, if you were to be in any TV show from anywhere in time, you can choose whichever TV show that is. Which TV show would you be in?
Oh, simple. I'm drinking that, which came out of that.
Right.
Shivers. I am vaping on the Baby Ness with fluid. And I am also vaping on the tiny little thing that I can find. There it is.
It's the one you didn't throw in the Thames.
Wait. I'm going to see if this works. No?
No.
Hey.
It comes with a fucking disco light.
Nice.
Is that the Joule?
The Joule. And it freaking changes color when you shake it. Like that's a thing. I got this just to piss off John, by the way.
Okay. No, we were just talking about that anyway. And a TV show.
My Little Pony. Because I would be a cartoon and a flying pony.
That is fucking awesome. I agree. We were just talking. So just to briefly run you in, Brad was just talking about. We're looking at a reported 20% loss from the three big tobacco companies in the world: Philip Morris, British American Tobacco, and Imperial. I was just talking about possible. I think we're going to be looking at buyouts. I think we're going to be looking at lobbying governments. We already know they've lobbied the government to try and stop short fills. I'm highly suspicious that they also affected the Squonking thing. I don't believe that anybody thought of that, but fine. and I also believe they affect the government when it comes to bungs in tanks.
You're probably right. They may have had a hand in the squonking thing, but I think far simpler would be that everyone, including in the shops, were publicly stating that squonking is a way around TP.
I totally agree. I totally agree. It was their own worst enemy kind of thing at the same time. But what I'm going to do is chuck a cat among the pigeons and say, so if we think, well, they've definitely lobbied the American government, especially when it comes to the flavour ban, to affect Joule's prolific.
I agree 100%. And I think
so. Is it a bad thing that they buy Joule? That somebody buys Joule?
Well, I thought we were talking about Von Earl.
Oh, Von Earl's old piece of shit. No, I was saying that's old.
So the Joule.
Is it a bad thing that if we are to assume, if we take it as a given that they're affecting policy to affect Joule sales? Is it a bad if one of the
if they were to buy a company at that size and that scale, would that alter their backdoor activities with the government trying to implement legislation? So you're probably on the money there. It's probably them buying Joule would probably be good for the rest of us.
What do we reckon?
They could still continue to steer things towards the Joule being okay and regulating against anything not Joule.
That would only the company that subsequently bought it would potentially stop. The rest would still lobby because they would want to shut down.
But they wouldn't. I do think they'd be toothless. Rick, what do you reckon?
I think it's all a load of bollocks. Yeah, I don't like the Joule. It doesn't hold enough juice. Yeah, they lobby. They would lobby if a big tobacco bought that because the tanks aren't over 2 millilitres. So they would still, if they bought it, it'd make no difference. They'd still be lobbying against more vapey gear, I think.
Jade,
why would Joule sell?
Everything's worth. I'm playing devil's advocate. I don't believe they would sell at all.
No, I mean they are they're rocking the American market, and they've just launched in this country, as I'm going to talk about in a little while. They've launched a couple of other countries. I can't see them going from strength to strength. It would be crazy for them to sell it unless unless one of the big tobacco companies would offer them a ludicrous amount.
Well, it would be offers in excess of £30 billion. So you've got to be crazy to own a company and not consider selling it.
Yeah.
Or
I mean, absolutely. I'm sure they've got an exit strategy. However, I'm not. Is now the best time to sell? They are.
I don't know. That was the point. I was just kind of just a little mini debate. Richard, I think you kind of put yours in, but
yeah, I don't think it would help our cause. It'd be a nice acceptance of defeat from them, but if it helped eradicate the heat not burn thing, which I'm really against, then there'd be positives there.
That's right, because I don't know if
they continue to lobby against.
Got that in the news today, but I'll add that to the end and just say that
that heat not burn government thing. Yeah,
they've actually been told it is by the American government to stop advertising it as a healthier alternative because it is not healthier, and they've been told that if you carry on advertising it's healthier, we will fine you into the floor.
That was very groovy indeed.
It's not an alternative either.
Next up in the news, Rich.
Yeah, okay. Yes, I just wanted to very quickly say that it is actually I think there's 24 hours left on the FDA 100k.com. So if anyone's watching this in the next 24 hours or now in America, from America, in whatever way, a resident or American person, then please go to the FDA 100k.com and comment. Make your comment to the FDA. How effective that will be, we've debated in the past. However, I had a little look today, and it is so simple. It's so simple. It's a 2-minute job, so there's absolutely no reason to not pop on there if you're in the United States of America and make your comments in the vaping.
you're not, don't do it.
Oh yeah, of course. No one. Yeah, the last thing we need is more people rigging it.
You
they had some.
I'm talking to Fu before about this, and it's really important that you do not do it if you don't live in the UK.
Yeah, the integrity of the comment process has already been called into question, so it wouldn't be helpful to further corrupt that. But if you are in America, you're a resident, and vaping has helped you, then do comment on that. FDA100k.com. Next.
Me, James.
Yes, that's me. I am wanting to talk about the Joule UK launch. So this is following on from John mentioning the Joule, and Brad is going to be mentioning it a little bit later on. He's got one in his hand. So the it's kind of big.
Where'd Brad go?
I assume he's got called away. I assume
Oh yes, Brad has gone. Okay, so yeah, he'll be back. He'll be back, and he'll have his Joule. So Joule has launched this week in the UK, to much excitement by many people. And I was going to mention a little bit about Joule. So we've already discussed it a little bit. Brad can tell you a little bit of facts and figures about Joule and what's available and that sort of thing. Came out at the start of the week, and like I say, Facebook lit up with it. Some people happy, some people not so happy. And there is a couple of issues. Okay, so let us just tell you that the Joule company originally started in 2015, based in San Francisco, and account for 70% apparently of the American vaping market, which I thought was a phenomenal figure. Valued this week in the Financial Times article, they said that was valued this week at $15 billion. $15 billion from a 3-year-old startup. So launching this country, I had a little bit of a shufty about, see what you're getting for your money. But obviously, Brad will tell you better than me because he's got in hand. But I can tell you now, it is around about 30 quid for a startup kit. In there, you're getting a selection of pods, you're getting your Joule, you're getting your recharger, that sort of malarkey. It's a 280 mAh battery. It's kind of inhale activated. I'm sure loads of people already know this. The pods are tiny though. Pardon?
I said no. Yeah, go run through it exactly as you are.
The pods are tiny. You're looking at 0.7 mils in a pod. 0.7 mils in a pod. A pack of 4 refills for a pod's going to cost you around about a tenner. 2.8 mils for a tenner, that is. Now, in this country, obviously, they're quite famous in America for being high nic. And the high nic, you're looking at essentially 50 milligram, 5% in America. But obviously, TPD doesn't allow that in this country. So you're looking at 2%, or 1.7%, I think the class does, or 20 milligram in this country. And they're a tenner for 2.8 mils for 4 pods. The pods are disposable. And however, if you prepare to pay a little bit more, I had a quick squiz about, if you look on the likes of eBay and that sort of thing, for 25 quid, you can get a pack of American-style pods. Obviously, they're not being sold legally, but they are saying they're 100% authentic. But of course, they're going to say that, aren't they? For around about 20 to 25 quid for a pack of 4. Which
for a pack of 4 pods.
For a pack of 4 pods, yeah, for the same 4-pack, for the same startup, for the same refill kit. No, obviously, it's not just these are disposable pods. I think Brad is going to talk a little bit later about trying to refill them. I'm not entirely sure instead on that, Brad will take. And I don't want to take away too much.
And it's a silicon wick and a nichrome coil, isn't it?
Essentially, it's a closed system.
If you want to vaping like it's 2000.
It depends how effective they are at getting in news agents and petrol stations and
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that. I mean, there's various places to buy them at the minute. I had a quick Google. I went through about 3 or 4 pages of Google, and the vast majority of when you put in Joule, buy Joule UK, a lot of them are still just unused that landed in this country. However, some of the bigger chains have already got them in and these are the ones that are online, and they're also bricks and mortars. So the likes of Vaporized, E-Cig Wizard, Evapo, I'd never heard of them. And then you can buy directly from Joule.co.uk, and they've got a store finder sort of thing, a location finder. If you want to go into a B&M and just pick them up in a B&M. Only 5 flavours at the minute. What we've got in this country at the minute is Golden Tobacco, Glacier Mint, Mango Nectar, Royal Cream, and Apple Orchard. And all I would see in them was, like I say, was the 20 milligram, the 1.7%. And they are they're all pretty high VG juices, as you would imagine from this sort of thing. It's a sort of a Nick Salts sort of thing. It's their own version of Nick Salts. And that is the Joule this week in the UK.
I think maybe we have to give. Sorry, I've got to give the opposite. You know what I'm going to say, and I will say it's shit. The battery's tiny, the pods are a complete rip-off, and the tech is 6 years old. Somebody just made a comment in chat. Louis, sorry. I thought the Joule was TI wire, and I could swore I heard it was temp controlled. It's not. It's fucking not.
It's not possible to do it in that size.
Yeah, there's no way. It's not. There are some great pod. There are great not pod systems, refillable pod systems, we call them, coming out. That are out and are coming out. The Breeze 2 is a fantastic pod system, especially you can get the slightly higher coil. But interestingly, is it this week? I think Richard is very likely to be getting hold of one, I reckon, which is the Innocan IQ, which I saw the specs of today. If he hasn't got one yet, I think he'll get one on the way. Am I right, Richard?
I expect to have one.
You expect to have one. It looks really funky. If you've got 2 seconds, go on Google and check out the Innocan IQ.
Tesla have just done one with a screen.
That's quite funky. But this is a mesh, like a mesh-ish coil. It's not really a mesh coil. We'll call it a mesh coil on the IQ with an 800 mAh battery. Pretty fucking good.
While we're in Pod Corner, can I just say a quick follow-up to last week's thing on the Motif 2? I just received it. I put in a cartridge and had a go in it. And if you remember from last week's show, I had to suck it really hard to get to work. I can report that I've put in the second cartridge. It was obviously just a dud, the other one. This one's working very, very well, actually. I quite like it. It's solid.
It looks good, but I've got a little bit of an issue with mentioning all closed systems together, because they're not the same. You got to remember the Joule
I did say it was open. I did say it was an open system.
Is much smaller, much smaller.
I completely agree.
It's aimed at getting people directly off the cigarettes. People who would want to pay 30 quid, get a starter kit. Remember, it's going against the likes of John's Nemesis, the Von Earl, the Blue. I'm interested to try. I'll be honest with you, I'm interested to try it. If you can
give you, because I have tried it. I have tried the Joule already. Rubies. I've had to go on Ruby Ruse. Joule and a few other people when the Americans have been over. When people say it's tight, when people say, "Oh, it's a really cigarette-like draw," they're fucking lying. You can do a lung hit on it, no problem at all. It's easy. Yes, you could easily lung hit it. It is. I'm saying it's coming from a fact that I have tried the Joule, and it does suck. So I don't feel bad at all. And I think if we're talking about bringing new smokers into vaping, then there are so many kits now to start people off in the shops that I would never recommend getting Joule in a B&M. I have no idea why the fuck you would.
No, I know that there's many pros and many cons. The price is a really big one. However,
they're liquid. I mean, they're obviously making their money. I mean, you could run that as a loss leader and just sell the fucking pod.
There must be there's got to be something. 70% of them, if that's true, if that figure is true, 70% of the market in America is enormous. There's got to be something in it. There's got to be.
How many people bought the iPhone X? There's nothing to do with it being anything at all.
There's nothing. Those 70% isn't us 1%ers.
And I will say that also is a bent figure. I don't believe it's 70%. The same as everything else. If you asked, there was a statistic that came out the other day that said that I think it was something like 70% of people aged between 17 and 19 have never had sex or drunk alcohol. That's not true. It's just a fucking lie. I think
I'm thinking about the Joule. I think fair play to it. I think it could be a gateway to real vaping for them. So it's got we all started on cigalikes, so it's the same thing, really, isn't it?
Shit.
Except they've got a better chance of giving up smoking with a Joule than we have with a cigalike.
I'll tell you what, though, they nailed it with the Joule because nic salts were a thing, and if people were needing higher and higher nicotine to get off the cigarettes, but the high nicotine at that time was ripping people's throats out. And the nic salt came along, 50 mg, and it got people off the cigarettes, didn't it? And it kept people just using that product, which is absolutely fine. And they nailed it. The key UK, because a bit of time has passed now, nic salt's more of a thing now. The key to the UK market will be where they can get it. If they can get it in all Texacos, all spas, then they're laughing. They'll do the same again.
Tesco have got Vape. It's Big Tobacco have got that wound up.
Yeah, I think it's hard coming in. It's harder coming in now than what they did in America. But I totally get why the product has been a success.
I think they may underestimate the stinginess of the British people, though. I think they'll start on one of those, realise they're paying too much by doing a little bit of Googling, and a lot of them will move on to real vaping. So it can only be good for the industry, really. I think
that's a positive. Yeah.
Sorry if I sound like I was being down on you. I wasn't.
No.
I think you're next.
Hey, me. I'm going to talk about something. I've got to say, I've been using the Bastion for the last 2 weeks. I just wanted to run through my thoughts on it. Firstly, I'm incredibly proud of Dean for helping to design this, and I know the length and effort it takes to bring something to market, and I think you've done a good job, Dean, so fair play to you there, mate. And I've been using it. I haven't put this down for 2 weeks. So thanks for sending it, Richard, by the way. I think it's great. I really can't fault this mod. Like I said, I've been using it for 2 weeks. Just as in honour of Dean, I've got it at 666 watts. And I really like it. It's a basic beta, but the board works really well. It's not one of those boards that cuts off on power when the batteries get low. It goes it's full power all the time until it can't achieve that, and then it will cut off. But I really can't fault it. I like the design of it. I like the way the batteries are changed. It's a nice clip-in thing there. The bottle that comes with it is good. And yeah, I just want to really say that I'm a big fan of this. And if you're thinking about getting into squonking, you probably already do squonk if you're watching the show. But if you don't, and you want to get a mod that will last you all day when you're at work or whatever, get a Bastion.
And the green one as well. That is the one.
Yeah, I had to stick a matchy green tip on top there.
Yeah.
But no, really proud of Dean for this and Dovpo for working with him on that. And yeah, well done. Thank you very much.
It's actually braver to just do something really well than actually do it really fancy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing fancy about the mod. I mean, but it's got a nice board. It's got all the numbers that you want on it. The bottles have got the right resistance to it. What was that?
What was that?
My phone, sorry.
Amazing.
The battery change door is really cool. I mean, it's nicer than undoing tubes. I'm sorry to say, because I sell tubes. But and the 510's okay. I mean, and the changing the cartridge system, pretty cool. Yeah. You can put other bottles in it if you wanted to.
It just does everything it does do really well.
It does, yeah, it does. It's not trying to be something it isn't. It is a beta it's a beta mod. I mean, for us, it's a beta mod. We've got nice wooden stab wood things. For this, I sling it in my bag. I use it all day long, and I'm not worried about scratching it or anything like that. Even though I haven't scratched it yet, even though it's been in my pocket for keys and all sorts. But yeah, I'm really fair play to Dean for that. Well done, Dean.
Nice one, man.
Yeah, John.
Mm-hmm.
You're on.
I am. I've got to scroll down. Right. Because Brad's not here.
Oh,
I am a guest on the vaguely vaping related podcast. I know when it's being recorded. I have absolutely no fucking idea when it's going out.
I hope you're going to be as drunk as I was when I
I was actually going to attempt that. I probably am going to attempt that. So
I
I know
6 hours before you go on it.
I know it's supposed to be the pre-Vape Fest show. So I'm recording it with the fabulous Chandler and Jimmy and the brilliant Jimmy on the 29th. I don't know when it's going out, but I know I'm going to be recording it then. So if you're into podcast anyway, go and find the vaguely vaping related podcast. It is on everything. It's on all the downloadable podcasty apps.
They have Todd on last week, I think.
Yep, they had Mark Todd on. Rick's one was brilliant as well.
Rick being drunk on there was amazing. I've been on it once before, but only on. I think it was at Expo the Return last year. Just a quick little but I'm on it again. So I say recording it on the 29th. I don't know when it's out, but if you're into podcasts, go and download it. Jimmy and Chandler are two fantastic
When
guys.
I was on it, I don't mind saying this. When I was on it, I talked into the wrong end of my microphone.
Fucking amazing.
So that's 4 years making videos for you. It's so don't listen to that one because it sounds like someone's just sort of.
But not only that, 4 years of making it, and what was the thing you used to have, Richard?
What do you mean?
Podcast.
Oh yeah, I used to do a podcast,
Yeah,
and I used when I did that one, I used to talk into the right end of the microphone. It's weird. It was a different microphone though. That's the key to that.
Too many microphones.
Yeah, it's a problem.
You use a microphone the way my stepdad uses a mobile, upside down.
yeah, my dad does it like a walkie-talkie.
Yeah, so he meant. Or if you're on The Apprentice as well, you can do that.
Oh, I hate that.
Hello, Sir Alan. I do that when me and my wife are walking along and we see somebody talking to their phone like that. They go like, "Yeah, no, I'm just in Tesco." I'll nudge Shelly and go, "Oh, Apprentice." Can't stop it. Rich.
Oh, it's me. Okay.
RTA, I think. Sir.
Yeah, I think it would be wrong to not mention this this week. The news on Monday and Tuesday hit of a brand new exciting RTA hitting the market from Coil Art, the Salt RTA. It's specially designed to work very well with Nick salts, amongst other things, I'm sure. Rick, there's some pictures. If you could just pop a couple of pictures up. Shall I present you? I'll present you and then stick these pictures up. So this is it. This is the Salt RTA. Now, I think the reason it kind of got shared quite quickly on our group, the Ideal Home Show group on Facebook.com, and yeah, people start sending me pictures of this almost immediately, is you can't see it on this picture, but the deck is very, very similar to the Saver deck. And the top cap has the stepped stylings of the Saver as well. There's another picture, Rick, as well, I believe. So I don't know if we can zoom or not, but the posts are very, very similar to the Saver. And so it kind of raised a few eyebrows and a few people messaged me and things like that. What I will say is this. Is absolutely, to my definition of things, absolutely no way or world a clone. I certainly was not the first RTA to have two posts like that. They aren't using my name, they aren't using the Saver name or anything like that. So the posts are very similar, the top cap's a bit similar, but I mean, beyond that, it's different. You know, they're not doing the swappable posts. The adjustable airflow is completely different. Knurled top cap, and the biggest probable difference that you probably can't see from this, it's actually 18 millimeters wide, this RTA.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So really, I have no issue with this at all.
That silhouette. I think where they went wrong there, Richard. I think it's from that picture there where you've got that silhouetted kind of esque look in the top right. It does look like that, but when you show the first pic, it looks like a Mark Bugs RTA initially.
Yeah, on the first picture, yeah. So it's 18 mil.
Look at that. I would never have said that's got anything to do with you.
No.
Yeah, but when you look at the deck is very similar. So if that's 18 mil, Rich, what is that? I know it's advertised towards Nick salts. Is that because it's so tiny that they're saying, "Oh well, we'll put Nick salts in there"? What's the size? Do we know?
It's 18 mil wide. Do you mean the capacity?
The capacity, sorry, yes.
I believe there's going to be a 2 mil version for the UK, but possibly a bigger version for the rest of the world, from what I understand. The airflow is interesting at the bottom. I think that's the key. It goes from 0.6, which is even smaller than the Berserker, all the way up to 2. But they haven't done the so I mean, so in essence it's going to attempt to be a mouth-to-lung tank, although if anyone's got a saver and they've got it on the direct-to-lung post but they've turned the airflow down, they might
do it.
They might try that now, actually.
They might
it
attest.
It doesn't do it. I know exactly what you're going to say because it doesn't work. Because I'll put it open a crack, and I reckon I can lung hit it at a crack. So this is less. This is probably about. Oh, you can barely even see it. I don't even know if you'll be able to see that's even open. Barely. It's a shadow. Let's see if I can lung hit it.
So that's the. I haven't had a go on it at all, and I'm sure it'll be fine. But from the outside looking in, I'd be slightly worried about how well that mouth to lungs with a 2 mil hole, presumably a 2 mil hole underneath the coil. But we'll see, and it's not the first tank to be like that. And I certainly have absolutely no claim to those 2 posts. I mean, didn't the Uber 2 have 2 posts? The Coil Master Elfie had 2 posts. The Serpent. So yeah, the 2 post thing is not a thing. I lay no claim to that. So in no way is it a clone in any way, and I'm not salty about the Salt RTA. To answer that.
Excellent.
What's on the list?
James.
Okay, over to me. Hello. So I 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks tomorrow. I'll be traveling down. Anybody else traveling down 2 weeks tomorrow?
Oh, yeah.
I'm traveling up.
Yeah,
I'm going down.
Yeah, we're doing 2 then. Anyone traveling 2 rather than let's not put area on this. Let's not. And I'll be like that. So I thought I would run a little thing this next couple of weeks. Kind of a what to expect at Vape Fest. And I thought I'd mention a few vendors, and I thought I would mention a few tips, a few tricks, and where to be, what to do, and that sort of thing. I know we've already touched on Vape Fest because it was so exciting. I mean, I'm excited. Everybody else excited? It's just me excited.
Always. Yeah, always.
Continue.
Love this event. Love it.
I am tremendously excited. It's the only one for me this year. Any year. It's the only one I have any interest in, to be honest with you. So I thought I'd put it to the floor, but first of all, I thought I'd mention a few vendors, and each week I want to mention a few vendors, what they're getting in. I've emailed a few people today, left it a little bit late. It's been busy. It's been a busy week, and sort of give you, like I say, some tips and some tricks and where to be and what to do while you're there. So I've got 3 vendors this evening. I want to tell you what they're going to be having on install at the event. And the first one I want to talk about is in alphabetical order, Abstract. So our good friend Mike Dacus, I've spoken to him this evening, and Abstract mods are going to be there, and they're going to be having 20 to 25. I was a little unsure about exactly how many mods he's going to have actually available. They're all going to be Squonk mods. But they're not going to be all necessarily your regulars. You're going to have some majoritively 18650s, but he's going to have some 2700 style mods as well there, all in kind of your beautiful stabby stuff, and it will be there on the Saturday and the Sunday, I believe. Next, I have got in alphabetical order Chris Scott McKenzie. We've talked about Chris the last few weeks, and he is releasing, for the first time ever, you're going to be able to see the Kyo Nano. He's going to have 12 3D printed Kyo Nanos there, but he's also going to have, and I mentioned this last week, some Squipes, which is the Squonky pipe. As far as I'm aware, the only starboard Squonky pipe available out there. I could be wrong, but certainly the one that I lost.
Talanga's dream of a mod, I'd say.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I'll post a picture, and if I get any more pictures from Chris, I'll post them up in the next couple of weeks. So he's going to have loads of stab Kios as well, and he's going to have the newer version of the clicker. Not the clicker, it's not the 2.0. It's kind of the 1.1, 1.2, whatever you want to call it. It's like the improved version of the clicker. Minor improvements, nothing major, just kind of some internal bits which he's fixed from the not fixed, but changed from the first one there. So 6 Squipes, 12 Kyo Nanos, and a whole lot of his new clicker and the stab Kios. And then I mentioned this a few weeks ago. Eden are going to be there. Obviously, they're releasing the Salix at BFS this year. So they'll have the Salix available. They'll also have the slammed caps available. And along with that, they're going to have a whole load of Rose 3s, some Trilliums, and loads of accessories to boot. And I think accessories are really good. It's one of them things where you don't necessarily want to buy them online because sometimes the postage is quite expensive and that sort of thing. But it's a brilliant thing. You don't want to spend a lot of money at VFS. You want to get some accessories. They're going to have loads of accessories for their gear there. Speaking of accessories, Ryan Dawes going to be there with rock mods, and he's not doing mods this year as far as I'm aware. I spoke to him a little bit earlier. However, he is going to be accessories galore. He's kind of a friend of the group sort of thing, and I've shown a few of his drip tips and his beauty rings and that sort of thing. He's going to have a bazillion colors. He's going to have Damascus. He's basically, if you want to go matchy, then you need to get yourself to the Rock Mod stall this year at Fearfest, and he's going to have probably something to suit you in virtually every color or material that's possible to make accessories out of, basically. So that's Rock Mods, and that's me 4 for this week. The next couple of weeks, and every week, I intend to kind of mention a few additional people and maybe revisit the ones that we've mentioned tonight. But I was also wondering, what have you chaps got with regards to kind of top tips, where to be, what to do while you're there?
For Vapefest. One thing I just want to sorry, I know we go over this all the time, but I just want to do just quickly say something because it came up on UK Squonkers today, so I want to try and go over it very, 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 very quickly. And the thing it came up with was the thing that came up again today was social anxiety and Vapefest, which I absolutely understand. I understand from friends and stuff. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to find the exact thing that I can. I don't need to. Right, fuck it. I just wanted to point out something, and I know this is going to seem like teaching Nan to suck eggs to some people, but it is quite important. And I will not try to simplify mental illness in any way, shape, or form. As it gets close to Vapefest, I know from friends who suffer with social anxiety that obviously that's going to build up, and obviously you're going to feel like you're not sure whether you want to come or not. And one of the things that was posted on Vapefest today was fuck's sake, on the UK Squonkers today, was somebody was very worried about what other people would think about their appearance on the day. And I wanted to reiterate something that I know I've had this discussion with quite a few friends in the past. I will do it with an example. Somebody asked me recently why I don't mind at all calling the raffle. And the reason I don't mind at all calling the raffle is that anyone who has ever been on stage ever will tell you the same thing. There is nothing anybody who is watching you do anything on stage could say that is worse than what is already going on in your own head. Your worst critic is you. When people are getting worried and I said I'm not trying to oversimplify people who've got anxiety, but especially if it's appearance based, if you're worried that somebody's going to judge you for this, that, and the other, don't worry. They are way too busy judging themselves. Everybody does it all the time, constantly. Everybody's worrying that you're looking at A, but it doesn't matter because you're worried that they're looking at B. I really hope that everybody who is able to come to VapeFest does come to VapeFest. And if you do, and I know I've said this many, many times before, send somebody a PM. Send somebody a PM and get them to meet you somewhere away from everybody else and bring you in, because it makes a massive difference.
I'll say publicly that I suffer from social anxiety. If anybody is at VapeFest and you're suffering from social anxiety, you see me sitting there having a beer on the floor, come and sit next to me and we'll have a little chat.
Perfect. Absolutely.
Yep.
I think that goes for pretty much all of us, though, doesn't it? Well, apart from Rich. Rich is very aloof. Don't just go.
Very mentally stable, Richard.
Yeah, he's far
So
more
fuck you.
than any of us. Yeah. So apart from Rich, but just go and plug yourself down. Or drop, like you both said, or drop a PM, or just, I mean, it's how brilliant is it? I kind of wait to meet people. I really kind of.
It's a no-brainer. Honestly, you're going to go there. You're going to be sweating about going there. You're going to go there. You're going to forget about that, and you're going to go home and you're going to be pleased with yourself that you did it, because there's no judging. There's none of that. Any of that. We're all oddballs. Come on, we all stick these stupid devices in our mouths and suck on them. Yeah, you know what I mean.
You never regret the things you don't do.
No.
So come.
Right, my turn.
Yes.
We've been having a little bit of a chat lately, and it's been floating around a lot about Squonk bottles and Squonkers and the MRHA restricting sizes of Squonk bottles like they are with tanks. And we've got some. I've seen it. I saw an article today. I spoke to Gary at IBVTA, and he gave me. Obviously, I was concerned about Squonk bottles because I sell them, and I was wanting to get some advice from the IBVTA. And Gary came back to me today and said about they had a meeting with the MRHA, and they basically said, and the IBVTA stance on it now for its members and anybody who asks them is that you can't sell a Squonker now with a Squonk bottle. So all the modders that are selling mods and a bottle can't now sell a mod with a bottle in the mod. It almost needs to be a separate package, or I'm not sure exactly of the laws. It won't really, to be honest, it won't really affect a personal sale of Joe Bloggs who knows Timothy Smith is selling him a mod and a bottle. It's not really going to affect him, but somebody who wants to put them in shops, certainly you can't sell with a bottle that's over 2 milliliters now, which is basically, there isn't a bottle. Maybe I should make one. There you go. But it isn't. But what Gary clarified for me was that it's perfectly fine to sell Squonk bottles externally from the mods, so they're not affected at all by the TPD or TRPR, and the MRHA's rulings. So you're all right with bottles from other sources or even from the same source in separate packages. But I did want to point out, while I was looking for this, I saw an article on a site on the Vaping Post. I've got to say I'm disappointed, because the author of this article is out. I've got to pull him up. It's not. I'm not just trying to start.
You have got history with the author.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, but I'm not trying to be awkward here. But this guy is what is he of the? It's Richard. It's Richard Mason or Fergus Mason.
He was the chairman of the NNA.
Chairman of the New Nicotine Alliance. And he's sort of a journalist. He writes stories as well, but. Well, he does write stories. And
if he's a journalist, I'm a fucking astronaut.
Yeah, well, I'm not. So I'm just going to state what he said, because his take on it is wrong. And I think if you're spreading wrong information, you need to It needs to be pulled up. So he's put an article on the Vaping Post, or he's been quoted on the Vaping Post, and it says that he asked for clarification from the MHRA, and they stated that a Squonker sold without a bottle would be compliant with the EU restrictions. However, they also claim that a Squonk bottle sold separately would be non-compliant if it held more than 2 milliliters. But I just want to point out that's not the case whatsoever. As it is now, it's not the case. A bottle sold separately doesn't even fall under the TRPR. So don't worry, bottles are still available, even if that down the line they're sold as something else. It's a bottle, so it doesn't have to have the word Squonk in it. But no, I just need to point out that Fergus, you've got wrong information on that article there, according to the IBVTA and the information they've given me.
Yeah, the MHRA, they had it's been backwards and forwards with the MHRA and the IBVTA, and I know Rick's spoken to Gary. I know I've spoken to Gary. Oh, fuck me! I tell you what, if you haven't already, if you are working in, if you are marketing a product in the UK and you don't have a contact with the IBVTA, you need to. I mean, you just do, because you're just
absolutely. They do sterling work. They've got offices in Westminster. They're constantly on it. And they'll give you sound advice that you need in this day and age, actually, especially if you're bringing products to market.
Only bodies who's allowed to speak directly to the government.
I wouldn't talk to anybody else about it.
Nah, fuck 'em. Are we on?
John, you packing for a flight?
I'm just going to do a packing for a flight reminder. Sorry, Mr. Bonner sent me a message this week asking me how to pack for a flight. He's asked me the same question last year. So I'm going to go through it really quickly because I know everybody is... It's getting holiday times now and people are going to be packing for flights. I'm going to do two very, very quick ones. I'm going to do short haul and long haul because it's the quickest way to do it. If you're going long haul, fuck no, we're not going to do that. I'm going to say if you've got hold luggage and if you haven't got a hold luggage, that's easier. If you've got hold luggage, what I would totally advise you to do is to put all your liquids in your hold luggage. All batteries and mods in your hand luggage. The reason they want to be in your hand luggage, I found out being in India last year, if they scan your hold luggage, the gap in certain mods, the air, if they scan a mod, the X-ray mod, the gap will look like a battery anyway. So you're going to get called out of the queue. You're going to go down to the luggage thing. You're going to get called to security, and you're going to explain there's no bloody batteries in it. But that could happen. So the easiest way to do it is to make sure all your 18650s, 2700s, 26650s are in your bag, and make sure they're cased. Plastic cases cost 50p or a quid. Make sure they're there, and make sure they're in your hand luggage along with your mods. Anything, sorry, and when I said your e-liquids, anything over any large bottles of e-liquid, put them in your hold luggage. Now I'm going to go for short haul. Short haul, make sure that the same things apply. Well, obviously, you've only got hand luggage, so your batteries are going to be in your hand luggage, your mods are going to be in your hand luggage, but so is your liquid. Make sure that the capacity of the bottle is 100 ml or less on your liquids, and make sure you're putting them in the clear bag. Scott asked me a question, and I did know the answer. If you've got a mod with an atomizer on it and it's got a clear tank, make sure that you take the atomizer off your mod and pop that in the clear bag for inspection. As well, I have to say this because due to popular demand, just had Nick gave you a gap in the top of the bottle, so that we give you a 100 ml kit, but it's in a 120 bottle. You cannot take the 120 bottle through customs. You can't do it because it's about capacity, not how much is in it. Like you can't take a 2 litre bottle of Coke through, but it's only got 330 ml in it. You can't do that. You can't take Coke through anyway. That was a fucking shit example. Shampoo, let's say that. You can't take a 2 litre bottle of shampoo, but then you bit left in the bottom. So if it's hand dug, make sure it's 100. If it's hand dug, make sure it's 100 mils or less. Batteries in cases. Keep your mods. Take the batteries out before the flight takes off. Oh, and if you're flying with a mod and a tank, turn your tank and mod upside down and put it in the seat in front of you, and it hopefully should stop the tank siphoning when the pressure changes. I think that's the quickest liquid I can do. Rick!
Last thing on the news. Quickly want to run through. I want to thank Richard again for sending me. Gets all the good stuff. Sends me.
Fucking does. He fucking loves it.
Sent me a drop dead from Hell Vape RDA. Unicorn colour, but never mind. I won't hold that against you. But you know what? I just want to say, you know, I've been using this for a few days now, and it's a great atty. It really is good. Flavour's spot on. I really like the holes. I've said it before, and I do believe it. Some might believe it, some might not. I prefer having multiple holes to having a slot of air. I think it does do something for it. And it's just a great atty. I just want to point. I'll quickly show that it's got an easy to build deck on. Ones that you poke the coil straight down in. I stuck a couple of fused Claptons in there, about 0.15 to 0.2. And it's a really good restricted lung, I'd say. Would you say that, Richard?
Yeah, it's not as areas like the cloud caps that they do and stuff, but yeah, I get a solid lung out. I think that's a cloud.
Oh yeah, you get a good lung. You get a good lung, but it's not like having a goon 1.5 wide open. No.
I think the key for the dead rabbit, the drop, and then obviously now the drop dead, the coils are so high in the RDA, so it vapes like a low profile in terms of coil to drip tip ratio distance, you know. So yeah, the flavour's great.
I think that's what I was going to say. The flavour on it is dead on point. I can't say it's any less flavoursome than a goon, which, as everybody knows, is my favourite and go-to dripper. But no, I'm a big fan of it. I'm such a fan of it. I'm going to go and buy a stainless steel one. So,
yeah, proper colour.
I want to say it's good. Yeah, they're really good. Drop dead. Well done, Hell Vape. Richard.
Excellent. Okay.
We've got a hot topic debate tonight, have we?
Yeah, quick one tonight. We'll do a bigger one in the future, but yeah, we're just going to round table a little random talking piece. RDTAs. Okay, so I got the Legend RDTA from Phoenix, and to be completely honest, I think this is the first RDTA that I've accepted or been sent randomly for months. I think it's fair to say that. I think it's very fair to say that RDTAs have just not really taken off compared to your cloudy RTAs, your mouth clone RTAs, your Squonk RDAs. RDTAs just haven't really got the love, have they? They haven't taken off. They haven't been popular. And I guess we're just a little round table on why that is, really. Because I mean, the flavor's good. They do work like an RDA, you know, as long as you get the wicking right. They're an RDA. You don't have to drip. Obviously, they're not like a Squonker, but comparing them to a Squonking RDA, you don't even have to squeeze the bottle, do you? You know. I'm just.
How do you want to do this? Are you going to?
So yeah, we'll just go around. Why haven't they been a massive hit? RDTAs. Anyone jump in?
Oh, okay. I'm happy to jump in. I think it's because they're a neat. They're not one or the other, and I think it's not. I think it struggles because it's not a market. I really do. I think your own saver would come into as a tank. It's similar in the build where you droop it over the edge. But I think people either want a dripper or a tank, but they don't want something that's in between. I'm not. I personally, I have never bought an RDTA, and I don't really give a shit. No interest in it. The ones that I've had, that people have sent me to try out, I think they're all right, but no real interest in it.
I think if I've had a couple in my time. The Gaia from Cthulhu. I had the I've forgotten what it's called now. I've had another one. I think they're in this limbo. They're in this in-between place. I don't think they're any. I think they're as good as a tank, probably a bit better than a tank. But they're bigger than an RDA, so they're no good for people who use Squonkers. And you get through juice as vapors, as more experienced vapors, we don't really the 2 milliliter capacity. If you're a bit of a cloudier vapor, isn't going to cut it. So you're not going to bother with all those people. Aren't going to want an RDTA because they'll be filling it up every 5 minutes. So I think they're sort of in this in between place. I think they're as good as a tank. A tank isn't good enough generally for a lot of people.
Yeah. I have a theory.
We've got a bit of an echo.
Serious echo
coming from Rick.
I've got a theory. I think it's the wicking. I think the people that have had them haven't loved them because they haven't quite got the wicking right, and it is much more of a balancing act than most other vaping stuff. You know, the wicking, because you're fighting gravity really with the wicking on them. They've got to go up those strands of cotton, feed that coil, you know, and I think people try and vape too high with them and they dry out too fast and can't feed quick enough, or they just haven't quite got the wicking right because it's such a balancing act. I think that's the main issue, I think. Yeah.
James, what do you think?
I agree with what's been said so far. I think the kind of neither never something you kind of lie them down, you kind of put them in a pocket because they're so leaky.
Yeah.
They're often much bigger. A lot of people want something that looks good as well as performs well. So you're taking an existing, maybe it's a good looking. I mean, I've only had the one. I think the Nixon's. I think is the only one I've ever had. And you're taking maybe it's an existing good looking. But I know there's a few out there using a similar deck. The Nord have been one in my mind there. A similar looking deck, but you're adding a tank system on the bottom. And I'm not entirely sure if you're squonking, then what's the point of that? If it's bottom, because if it's bottom fed, you go, oh, well, it's an extra 2 mil capacity, and I suppose there is that. But if you've already got an 8 mil bottle or a 6 mil bottle, 7 mil bottle, is it really necessary extra 2 mil for that? That loss of you can now kind of put it in the pocket. It's got to be upright all the time, otherwise it's going to flood everywhere. The wicking can be an issue. I'm sure there's some great ones, like using existing decks or just great flavor RDTAs. But for me, they've never been something I've really seriously considered as being a contender for, because it's not a tank.
Seems to be. I will say the chat seems to be coming in. It's about 2/3 what we say, and then there's a little bit of support for them at the same time.
We should ask chat. Do you have an RDTA actually in rotation right now?
Yeah, there's a lot of no's. I know you're going to get. I'm just going to read because I put. What do you reckon? Trevor Larkin might as well squonk with a 2 mil bottle. Simon Watson, pointless pieces of crap. Andy Fairchild, gonna try the mesh straw trick that Todd loves so much. Alex, he loved the avocado for a bit. Jimmy Parker, it's 2 things done half-assed. That would probably be what I reckon. You're getting a lot of no's. Thank you for sending everyone up the page so I can't read it.
Yeah, it's the majority of no's there. We've got about 90% no there.
It is a lot of no, yeah. If the tank is small and it squonks, then it's just like an RDA with a visible level.
It is, but what you're doing is you're taking an RDA, which is fine in your pocket, won't leak, from a squonker, and you're adding the leakiness of a tank to your system.
I will say,
of a Genesis, the leakiness of a Genesis.
Yeah. And I had a go on both the Flave RDA and the Flave RDTA. I think there was a slight name. I think I've got the name slightly wrong. And I know I recently I gave mine away. But the flavour and everything else was exactly the same with both. But going back to what James said, you would never leave anything in the tank. It was one of those things where you think, I better vape it because it was squonkable, but you think I better vape it because it will piss out. If I put it down, it'll piss out.
I think it could lend itself to people who maybe mouth to lungers or the lower wattage vapors who use heavier, higher nick and juicy.
Hey, look at that! Dean, the vaping biker, is watching.
Hey, Dino.
It's been
It doesn't wick. It doesn't wick fast enough for somebody who likes to give it some beans. You know. So yeah, it's in limbo. It's in limbo, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we nailed it. I think James is spot on as well about the looks, because an RDA is so sleek looking, and then you stick a fish tank underneath, and yeah.
But I'd go the other way as well. I'd say an RTA, properly made RTA, is sleek looking as well. I think it's the middle ground that's the fault.
Yeah. It's the fact that you've got that whole bottom of slushing about glass juice combo. So that I don't mind. I don't mind them. There's a couple that I do quite like. I wrote them down because they're not super recent, but there's a Krios RDTA and the Azeroth ones, which are both solid. They both do vape great. I guess the new TPD regs may kill them anyway, because you can't have a 2 mil RDTA at 60-70 watts. So
I mean, these regs are all really pushing people towards vaping at lower wattage, and aren't they? To be honest,
I think
Squonk bottles. In the end, they'll try and do something that's even worse than they've already done to make it 2 milliliter capacities on everything. But yeah, that's our challenge, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, so James, should we go on to some new vape stuff out this week or coming out soon? James, you actually do yours first.
Yes, I will. And I mentioned this last week, but it's actually been released this week. This is the Cami by Talk Mods, which is the chaps from, I say chaps, it might not be chaps, maybe ladies as well, from the Pandora Box team. We've got some photos of this. Rick, loads of photos, well, half a dozen photos, whatever. It's looking good, it's looking damn good. And I've got some more information. So this is a regulated squonker. It's made by, like I see, the members of the Pandora, who make the Pandora box people. Here it is in comparison size-wise to the Vandy Vape 80 watt. So you can see it's quite stout. It is a 21700. So the height-wise.
Is that an SX Yeehee board in there?
It is. It's an SX 475J, or as Todd would say, Jai. That's an. Is that what he said? So it's 21700, 2700, or 18650 with an adapter, powered by the SX475 Jai. Body is polycarbonate in a honeycomb pattern. It's for strength. Here's what you can see. You get an actual package there, so you're getting the adapter included, getting a bottle, and you can see how the little window pops off for getting your bottle in and out. I think it looks quite smart. Now, there has been some comparisons made to another RTA out there, to another mod out there, and it is similar. However, if you're going to put a couple of tubes with the board on the top there, I think that's quite a comparison.
Well, yeah, there's been mods for 3 years that look like that. Like, have got the same concept.
Well, the Rulo and things like that,
No.
The name has gone at my head. If Sam McDermott is watching, the one who Sam McDermott he kind of fronts in the UK for.
I can beat that by at least 2 years. So that's no argument at all. Because I won a mod some time ago. I gave it to Paul. Rianne won it off me, and it predates McMuffin's mod by at least 2 years.
I think it's just the natural form for a battery, a skunk mod, and a board. That's my personal opinion.
It's the most economic use of space.
It is, and I don't think it's even remotely snided at all. So the plate's aluminium, 6061 aluminium. The dimensions are, so it's 82 millimeters high, it's 49 millis wide and 36 millis deep. It's got a spring-loaded BF in there, and the best part about it is the price. The price. Remember, this is from the people. This is from Talk Mods, however the other people behind Pandora, the same team behind Pandora. And if you wanted to buy a Dora 3 or 4 years ago, you were looking at a fair wage of cash. This brand new off the list is $188 plus $40 postage and packaging to the UK.
That's pretty good going because the boards are not cheap. I mean, the boards.
I know you hear they're not a budget board, shall we say?
No, they're not. No, they work brilliantly. As you know, I've got one in a mod I made the other week to test it, and it's a great board.
I think it looks funky. I think the form factor is great for people. I mean, obviously I never utilise the 21700 style batteries, so it could have been smaller for me because I would only ever use an 18650. I would put an adapter in there. But it's a great looking mod. I believe Toto Jai mod has got one on the way. I'm sure we'll have a review up fairly soon. I like it. That's the Cami by Top Mods.
Well, everybody's going to go mad about these boards because they are brilliant. I'm not knocking DNA boards. I like DNA boards, but wait till you compare the display on that to the display on the DNA 75C, and you'll see the difference.
This is the 475G board, Rick.
Oh, is it? Is it not the 485?
Yeah, the screen's a bit smaller. I think this is the first.
Oh, okay. It's the older board then, is it?
It is a slightly older board. But apparently, this has been in the works for a couple of years, which is so I'm presuming that's why they've got a slightly older board.
I need to get the new board in there, really. Then,
and obviously, the size of the board will be different, so that the size of the dimensions would change. But I think it's a good looking bit of kit. I really rather quite like it.
Yeah, it looks really nice. Yeah.
Yep. Pretty cool. Pretty damn cool. Over to you, Rich. I believe you've got some news from this country.
Yes. Yes, I can show one new thing. And here it is. Benji Ostrix Creations. Ostrix Creations. The maker of the Half. Showed this on Instagram. I don't know much, but he's calling it the Half S Special Edition, and I just thought it looked absolutely superb.
Yeah, he does a good job, Benji. He makes some lovely things.
So I don't know exactly.
So he's got some Juma in there. That's nice, isn't it? With a Juma and the stab.
Full stab and Juma, yeah.
Nice.
I don't know. Is he at Fest?
Yes, he is.
Was last year. He probably will be. Yeah.
No, he definitely is. He definitely is. I have messaged Benji, and hopefully next week I'll be telling you exactly what Benji has got on the cards at Fest next year, and hopefully we'll see some of these SE half S's.
Well, that just
I've always been a fan of the half. However, the S a little bit smaller, and I love the fact that he's filled in that kind of Art Deco. What was a cutout, he's now got that kind of filled in. Look, that's really nice on just to kind of rub in your hands when you got it. When you you know what I mean? Just rub your thumb across that or whatever. That's nice. Benji does great work. Some of his earlier stuff is mind blown. Before the half, before he was a Squonker, when he was doing one-offs, they are mind blown. If you look on, if you Google Benji on Google, you'd be blown away by his designs.
Yeah, he was very popular on the UK Vapers forum.
On UK, absolutely. Some of his picks on there
are really nice. His blokes you'll meet as well. He's lovely, Benji. Good lad.
So that's the only one from me this week, but yeah, that just caught my eye. It's beautiful.
Obviously, Brad is not here to tell us about the Joule.
I think that takes us over to Speed Try Vatava.
We are going to really have to Speed Try Vatava. We're running a little bit behind here, so let's
do it. I reckon you can do it. 6 minutes. Come on,
whoever's running the pictures, we're going to need to just be whizzing through the. I'll be honest with you. This week's Try Vatava is poor. Okay. That is from. Who's it from?
That's from Bob.
It's from Bob. This is from Bob. I don't know what it is.
Oh, well, we've got to just quickly say because Bob is a massive contributor to Triumph Vatava, and we just want to say how incredibly happy the entire Ideal Ownership team are that Mrs. Bob is in the clear. We're with medical conditions.
Very happy about
overjoyed.
That. Excellent.
That was superb news. Because we love you, Bob. We absolutely love you. And Mrs. Bob. However, your quality of Triumph Vatavas is up and down. Next one.
Next one's Bob as well. Another big picture.
Now that is shit.
Look at that.
Ant-Man the Wasp. Oh, come on. That's reaching.
It's got Wasp in there.
Hang on. Both of those are atomizers.
Ant-Man?
Yeah, there's an Ant-Man.
Is there?
Something like that.
The Ant-Man.
Yeah, but it's named after Ant-Man.
Yeah, the hat
But
might
it doesn't work.
Yeah, but it reminded him of vaping.
Yeah.
It did remind him of vaping. It gets on the show. It reminded him of vaping. Next,
We know the rules. We know the rules.
Craig Nichols.
This is for Craig. Absolutely. This is Wickhead. Wickhead.
I don't think I'd want to go into a hairdresser's that was called Wickhead because Wick isn't a well sculptured example of hair.
Did you know what? I really liked I'd really liked the pun name there. Wickhead. Wicked.
It took me a while. I must admit, it took me a while. I was like,
Okay, yeah, I'll see that.
Funky name. I'm going for Wickhead. Let's do it. It's good.
Yeah.
Near my house, can I just say this? Near my house, a new car washing place has opened up, and it's called Car Foam Warehouse. That's good, isn't it?
It is good. It is.
Inspired.
We've got a shop that sells alcohol in the town called Amy's Winehouse.
Perfect.
Class.
Yeah, good. Very good. Okay, this one's from David Childs. This I thought apparently this is a puzzle, but it looks a lot like a coiling jig, doesn't it?
It does sort of look like even moddy-like as well, though.
You know what? It's wicked. If you are, I will say you need to go and watch that YouTube thing. Anyway, it does look like a mod. I do like it, but the review of that puzzle, it's called a lotus flower puzzle, is awesome.
Is it by the German fella? The German fella reviewed?
It's by the American magician whose name has gone out of my head. Chris something. I think somebody will probably tell us in chat, but it's wicked.
Chris Akabusi, I think it's called.
It is Chris Akabusi.
Next.
Okay, next. This one's from Frank Higgins. This is a German mic.
It's a doppelganger.
It is.
Is it? I don't see it. I did check with Mrs. John. She said no, but.
Yeah, it's a handsome chap. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah,
next.
Ian Clark.
From me, and this is apparently a horse riding machine, but it's made by iJoy. if it does what I presume it does, look, there's another picture I haven't uploaded. There's another picture where it kind of looks like a stool, which I presume kind of.
It does say ride on it.
Which I can see.
I think that might be something else.
We called that iJoy. That's from Ian Clark. Next one, come on, let's fly through them. Ian Schwa, this is
another doppelganger.
It is. Can everybody guess who this is?
It could be Richard or John.
It's neither. It's Bonner. It's Mr.
Richard got
cover the hair up, Rick, with your hand. That
Who's
is
it
Bonner.
supposed to be?
John.
Bonner.
No.
It's good. I didn't get it. I'm rubbish at saying that. That's all. Okay, next one. Let's fly through. Come on.
Vapona.
It's got Vape in it. It's got a reminder of Vape, and we'll put it on the show. Next one.
Jimmy Parker.
Okay, we're moving into the Parker section now. Parker, Jimmy, he's been. I know it's his wife's birthday this week. I presume he was looking through Wish, trying to find gifts for her or something like that.
She smokes a pipe. I'll buy her one of these.
He's just trawled Wish for many. He's looking at Bob's crown to try and beat Bob for the most.
I will say, I reckon there's probably
even
a 510 under that. It's just it probably is a mod. I don't believe it's not.
Jimmy Parker. Next one.
I tell you what it is with Jimmy. He's got far too much time in his hands now, and he's new.
Oh fuck! That's nothing. No. Next, forget it. That's reaching.
Let's keep going.
Just post a picture of smoke. Oh bloody hell! Is that again?
That one.
I warned you. And then this one. Oh no, this one is. This is a little better. Looks a bit like a Joule or whatever. You know what I mean?
No, it doesn't. It's like a stick. No.
Looks like a great idea, actually. Looks like.
Yes, this one's all right. This one's all right.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
This one.
I'm having that. That's fine.
Polishing jig.
No, it's an RDTA.
RDTA.
or it looks a bit like a chimney section. I've got a couple of these. I got them with a lathe to make beads out of. I don't know what they actually are for, but that's where
that's a drilling bit, isn't it?
Oh, mine are for making on a lathe making beads. I don't know. Next one.
I thought it was really good. But Mrs. John said no again.
Nah.
Yeah, that's it. No, too much hair.
Okay.
I mean, the
feet. It's meant to be. It's meant to be me.
Yeah, it's meant to be you. That's why you're at the bottom of it.
Fuck off.
That's right. That bloke ain't even got a radiator behind him. Next.
It's another one from John.
It's vaping. I liked it.
It's this
Vaping
coral stuff,
fluid.
isn't it?
What?
It's vaping coral.
Yeah. It's how thermal vents work and sponge. It's quite good. I liked it.
Yeah, quite good. This is quite a good one as well from Keith Jones.
That beauty
Yeah.
ring.
Beauty ring. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a double because if you zoom in, you'll see
coil.
it's all made of lots of bits of cantha. Look at that.
Yeah, even the double Trivatava then. That's a double.
Yeah, it's a double Vitava down for now. Next one is from Selby.
No, what? I don't get that one.
Is that supposed to be an atom or a mod or something?
Yeah.
I presume so.
Yeah,
Come
it looks
on,
exactly like a
Selby.
mic.
Pull your
That's
socks
why
up.
I say he looks a little bit like Josh actually, Ruby's husband.
Yeah, a little bit. Tiny bit.
Tiny bit. Next,
Next one.
Mark Temple Hall.
I saw it earlier and I get it.
Mesh?
I mean, it is mesh.
You wouldn't
You
be
saw
able to
it.
vape on that mesh.
It reminded him of Vaping. We'll put it on the show. Next one. Matt Lothian.
This is good.
Yeah, he does look a bit like Jesus, doesn't he?
He does
Yeah.
a bit, doesn't he?
It does a little bit
I
like
will say
Damien.
Damien is more handsome than that fella.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
of course he is. Of course he is.
Yeah, he is,
That
Good
is,
looking man. He's a handsome man, that Damien.
but that is not a handsome man there. Next one.
Oh, this is me.
Me and you.
Yeah, I'm not sure just how big that bottle of gin is. How big is that bottle of gin?
I don't know. I just saw it. It looked like a sort of mod box, and that looked sort of like a 510 coming through, and it's like a bit of a squonky mod, I thought.
I
That
don't know
was
why.
like
I
a
thought it was
massive
because it says Martin on it as well.
It's Martin Miller's. It's apparently very good gin.
Yeah, but Martin, it's my last name, Rick.
Oh, I just could it look like a mod a bit with a bottle in it?
Fuck
Right.
you, man.
I thought it was just like a fancy juice.
Oh,
Whatever.
next
Next.
one.
I'm gonna
Rich
say it's
Jack,
reaching there.
Blytheberg.
It's not. It's Blytheborough, which is just down the road for me. He was only down the road for me. Who was this? I've forgotten. Sorry, I'm so bad.
This was Richard Jack.
Yes, he was just down the road from me. That's about 20 miles away from me, Blytheborough.
Oh,
But if you're from
Blytheborough.
Suffolk, you can say Blytheborough.
That's-
That is not.
that's a good
Richard.
doppelganger. I thought
I liked
No.
it too.
it's a chubby Richard.
It is. It's a slightly chubby Vic. I
Yeah.
liked it.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah,
I saw it. I was like, what? Because that's Thomas.
yeah, that's Thingy from Melody, innit? It's Thomas.
yeah. And I was
Yeah.
like,
I thought I was going to say it looks like Thomas who makes the Melody mods.
it is. It's Thomas. And I was like, what's Rich doing with? Oh, I was like, it's not Richard Allman. Oh, my mistake. Let's put that as a try for top. Oh, next one.
Richard, great, Stephen Greenwood.
Oh
Oh, this is Crackle Glaze.
no, reaching.
It
mental.
totally it is. It totally works.
No.
I believe you've got a fact about this. A factoid.
This is real fact. This is a real fact. Liz McDonald, I don't know her real name. She provides her own wardrobe for the show. For her character of Liz on Coronation Street, she provides her own costumes.
In the previous
Is that who that
139
is?
episodes of the Ideal Home Show, we would not have allowed that. But since we're now bringing you all news and facts and stuff,
Is that who that is? Is this Coronation Street?
Yeah,
Steve McDonald, yeah.
I haven't seen it in probably 15 years. She has not aged well.
it's not a great picture.
Oh, she looks
It's
right.
not a
That's
great
Crackle
picture.
Glaze anyway. Stuart Maxwell.
Didn't get this one.
Looking at you then.
next.
I'm on it. What is this?
What is this?
No, next. He's part of his spreadsheet. He's replacing that with it's got BF in it.
Oh,
Oh, God, that's dreadful.
That's a reacher.
Or maybe it's because it's got UPS and he gets his mods delivered by UPS. But it's not that. It's BF. Next one. Come on.
This is a good one. I like
That's
this.
a good one.
Yeah.
I like it.
Solid effort. That.
This is Toby Cornt.
It
Take
is.
notes, everybody.
It's good.
You like-
It's
you
damn
like
good.
Toby.
It's damn good. It's damn good. Okay,
Yeah,
last one. Last one is
Uh-oh.
from
Last
Me.
one is
just remind me of you chaps. I'm sorry, lads, but
yeah.
Yep.
I really liked, and I'm so sorry that the guy in the beret is Rick in 10 years.
Yeah, it probably is me. Big fat fucker. Glasses and hat on.
I liked it. It really
I'm
made
sorry,
me
lads.
laugh.
I'm very, very sorry.
Oh.
And that was this week's Speed Triumph Batava. Come back next week for more.
And very good it was.
Perfect. And we are currently 95 minutes. It's not bad.
So let's mod showcase it up.
Oh, Christ.
Is it that time again?
Oh, yeah. 35 minutes past 10.
That time, it's Mod Showcase of the Week time, yet again on a Thursday at 10:30. Right, got a couple of mods to show you this week, and let's get straight into it. Let's copy that over there. Right, first up, we've got a guy called Lee McAndrew made a mod, and I thought it was worthy of showing. He's made it all himself. It's honest, and I like it. Real wood. Used a switch FET in there, battery tube, made a piece of wood into a mod, and it's honest.
I like that. I do.
He's got a monster bottle in there, so he's taken advantage of about a 10ml bottle in there. What more do you want? Do you know what I mean? It works. It's a big honest mod, and he's made it for not a lot of money, so I really like that. That's the sort of mod I like to see.
Yeah, groovy. Like
proper modding.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? He's taken a chair leg or something. I don't know what you can get these lumps of walnut or whatever that is from anywhere, can't you? It's inexpensive, and you can make something beautiful out of it. Stick some oil on it, something you look after, and it'll always work.
That on the table. Yeah, that is a take to work. Stick it on the table in a restaurant. It always works.
In your pocket, give it a bit of wax once in a while. Job done. Next up, we've got our friend Veselin Georgiev. And he's made a very nice mod, and it's almost, well, it's beautiful, I think.
That's nice.
And he's used Delwyn this time. He's been making stabbled ones, but he's...
How nice is that button?
He's made... I don't know what the button does, actually, because there's the button there.
Oh.
But it's very nice. I mean, it's high-end. You just can't knock it, can you? Look at it. It's lovely. It's machined. It's Delwyn. It's...
Yeah, you won't be afraid of using that either.
No, it's a beautiful thing, isn't it? It's really nice. And there hasn't been a lot of action on Mod Showcase group this week, but there's a couple of mods that I really liked, and keep it going. It's great to see these squonky mods coming around. So yeah, that's all I've got for you this week. I'm afraid there's not a lot to show you.
It's okay, don't worry, because we have a troll of the week.
Troll of the week.
I'll very quickly end on this. If someone can present me. We are going back to one of the cornerstones of trolling in the modern era, the photo bomb. For those that don't know, your photo bomb is...
I love a good photo bomb.
The picture, it should be on the left, and then some people are invading that photograph on the right.
On the left.
Well, there's a few that are debatable, actually. So let's take it up a gear. We have this one.
Oh,
that is a big sausage.
It looks like a balloon. I'm pretty sure that all those people aren't the photobomb. I think she is.
Yeah, I think
passing by a harmless accidental photobomb, unless it was a genius deliberate thing. I've got my new favorite photobombs are dog ones. So I've got a couple of dog ones as well.
Oh, you can't call her that.
That's not a real photobomb. That's photoshopped.
Yeah, she's got. I mean, that's not her best pose, is it? And that's the dog's on it.
That's one gnarly looking dog, isn't it?
The quality bit of Photoshop.
That dog there is actually being hitting the balls with a ball. I saw that photo just today of that dog being hitting the balls with a ball.
I think he's just spotted the camera and is going, yeah.
I mean,
unless the guy with the camera's got like a sausage.
Oh yeah,
bring a sausage. And another dog one. Now this is very questionable. Who's photobombing who on this one?
I love it.
You've got the bitch there. And a lovely lady in one. So that's troll of the week.
Brilliant. I love a good animal.
Love a photobomb. If anyone hasn't seen the cow photobombing the horse stuck in a fence picture, there's your homework.
Perfect. Right. I think we're done at 100 minutes.
Perfect. I think we did quite well, that new format we've got through it. And so, yeah, brilliant.
Very good. Thank you very much for watching, everyone.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
smash that like button. Subscribe if you've not already. Double tap the dislike button if you didn't enjoy tonight's show. and I'm sure we'll see you again next week.
Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back next week. See you next Thursday.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you next
Cheers.
Thursday.
Good night.
Thursday.
Bye.
Smash that like button.